guess you learn rejection pretty quick. This is good for business students. Business students should practice getting rejected every 2 seconds. Or 5 times in 1 second. This wasn't supposed to be a social experiment. But I guess you gotta take what you get. Ugh.
Let's make that happen.
You want to talk?
Sure.
Am I your first person?
Yes.
Okay, great.
You're the first person ever.
Great.
Yeah. You can get comfortable with the mic.
I need to put
Headphones.
the headphones on?
If
This
you
is
want
so
to.
weird. Okay.
And it's weirder talking,
Oh, I
listening
hear
to
it.
yourself.
Yeah. Okay. I can hear it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a weird setup. Yeah, you're the first person ever.
Are you excited?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so what do I say?
Yeah, so kind of just about any. My name is Christian.
My name's Your Highness. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What are you passionate about? That's the topic for
Okay.
today.
What am I passionate about?
And pull the mic in just a little.
Okay. Like this?
Sure.
Okay.
The closer the better. but
Okay.
it's fine.
I think, can I just say like what I want and then if I can get
Totally.
into it? Okay. So I'm really destined to be happy.
Mhm.
So I'm searching for happiness, and I think the reason that I've come here is because I think whatever I'm studying is going to get me there.
Mhm.
So, by the way, I want to be a pediatrician for the special needs, so that makes me happy
Very
being
cool.
around them.
Yeah.
So I think I'm more so passionate about taking care of them and making them feel like they're not a burden on people.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's what I'm passionate about.
That is so cool.
Thank you.
My sister is an English major, and she did a student teaching position, helping kids with special needs, and I think that is awesome.
Thank you.
Like, where do you want to go with this?
So after this, I want to go to school in Texas because they have a really good medical program. And then after Texas, I want to move to New York, and I want to just be in that area and work with the kids there.
That's so cool. Why New York specifically?
Since I was young, I wanted to live there. It's kind of like a dream place for me.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, I just wanted to work around that. So I picked something that can be anywhere, and New York is the place, so I want to be there.
That's so cool. What's the school in Texas?
It's Baylor.
Oh, Baylor. Yeah.
Baylor, yeah.
And you said that's like specialized? in
Yeah,
that?
they have like all Texas has really good medical programs, and Baylor is a medicine school. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's
So,
super cool.
thank you.
This is like a long-term thing for you?
It is.
That is
It is.
awesome.
Thank you.
So when it comes to like teaching and stuff like that, it's like a specialized thing, or is there like a curriculum kind of more?
I think everything's the same. Like I still go to medical school and I learn the same things that I would learn about like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that don't have special needs or
Mhm.
just disabled.
Yeah.
They're not disabled. So but I think that once I'm done with medical school, I think I have to do something else so I can learn more specifically about them, which I'm fine with that. Like I want to learn everything that I possibly can so I can be able to help them
Yeah.
the best way I can.
Yeah, a lot of
So,
exposure and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Exactly.
I'm thinking of other ways that you could get exposed rather than just kind of
Going to
schooling
school.
environment.
Yeah. I think that maybe being in like an internship around them,
Yeah.
it could help me.
What kind of internships? Like, is there? How many other like non-schooling, like school settings as far as like teacher student type of thing?
I'm not really sure. I think like I can go to a school and then, like, they have special needs programs there.
Yeah.
Then I can probably ask to sit around and see how they learn and stuff like that. It's really, for me, the reason I want to be a special needs doctor, I just want to learn about their brain because I want to know. Like, it's certain things, like people that have ADHD or people that have autism, it's certain things in their brain that triggers them. And I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
What exactly triggers them. So.
And so you said like a doctor position, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly does that, like,
just like,
what do you encounter?
Checkups. I may be performing surgical things on them, anything in that nature.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that is super interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, my sister was more on the teaching side, and I kind of assumed that that was kind of where it was going. But like being a doctor specialized in that, I think is even like that much more interesting because it's just like there's so much that like encumbers like all these different sides, and it's not even just ADHD or autism. And again, like they say that autism is on a spectrum. It's like it's not just these, because I even just took a psychology class, and like basic psychology is really easy. But then once you dive into even just one term, there's so many things under that one term.
Yeah.
And with you, you're gonna be like studying that and like recognizing all of those.
I'm so excited. Like, I can already see myself doing it. Like, it's just every time I talk about it, I get like excited.
That's
like,
so cool.
Yeah, I'm so ready. Like,
that is awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being
You're
the very
welcome.
first person.
You're welcome.
That is so cool.
You have a good day.
You too.
And nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And
Thank
that's
you.
just a random sticker just because. Thank you again. That was fun. First ever person. That was awesome. I was super nervous before this, and that she kind of hung out around the sign, but after she passed, and I'm not sure if she was waiting for somebody or something, but that's what Vention's all about. The happiness I got just from her being happy about what she was talking about made me excited and made this trip worth it, even though it was maybe not even 5 minutes. Maybe it was just right on 5 minutes. I put 5 minutes on the sign, but I covered over infinite because I didn't necessarily know if I could handle that long. So yeah, that was fun. And now we wait for the next person.
Dude, what is going on here?
What is up?
What is up, bro?
I am talking to random strangers.
Wait, really? What's up? What's your name?
Christian.
Christian, wait. I feel like might have met you before?
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't remember. You want me to sit down? Dude, come on. You want me to throw on one of these bad boys?
Whichever one.
Dude.
Blue or green.
Praise God. I'm gonna take off this guy right here. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of high-tech stuff right
Yeah.
here. Dude, so what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about people's passions.
Wow.
What
Okay.
are you passionate about?
Dude, is this for
What was your name again?
I'm George, man. What was yours?
George. Christian.
Christian, right? Okay, cool.
Nice to meet you. Closer the better. But
Closer the better? Okay.
and you can
gotcha.
pull it back if you need to.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Come on.
So George,
What's going on, Christian?
what's your passion?
Dude, it's funny that we're talking about this.
Yeah.
I think that everyone needs to kind of figure this out in their life. I think once you figure this out, you'll be the most successful person that God has created you to be. for me, man, I lost someone really close to me a couple weeks ago, and I don't know why I'm talking about this right now, but I am.
Yeah.
And I have seriously realized that, man, you can be successful fiscally, and you can be absolutely set apart socially
Mm-hmm.
and be recognized. But none of it really matters in the end if you are truly not breathing out the Holy Spirit every day and inviting Him in to speak in your life.
Absolutely.
So, man, my passion, I want people to feel the love that Jesus gives me every day, and hopefully invite the Spirit in to do that every time I wake up. Because I think once you see just how fast and fickle life is, you truly have a different perspective on why you're here. And even being a lot more involved in business lately and meeting people, I catch myself writing a lot of things that are completely related to what the Lord has already spoke in the Bible. So if you want to be successful, the way you do that is by loving other people, by serving others first, by being humble. And I think from that flows true life. And that's applicable to business, and that's applicable to friendship. And if you can do that, man, you'll go super far in life. So, yeah, does that help?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, that definitely helps.
Does that help a little bit?
Oh yeah, totally. What's your major?
I'm business management and marketing, man.
That is super cool.
So for a while there, I thought I was going to do Christian studies, but I realized the Lord had gifted me in different ways for networking and for business. So
Yeah,
I think that I'm going to use that for the kingdom.
totally.
So
In a perfect world, we could all be doing Christian studies.
yeah, in a perfect world, man, right? But
In a perfect
sadly,
world, we wouldn't need it because everybody knows about it.
yeah, in a perfect world. But sadly, I'm here now, and
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays. Praise God, but still, breaks my heart sometimes. So, yeah, man. What are you passionate about?
So many things.
I feel like that's the common thing people say, you know?
It would be the common thing that people say, but when I say that I'm passionate about other people's passions, it truly is
In what way?
encumbersome, infinitely encumbersome, to the point where I enjoy what makes other people happy. I enjoy to not only do that, but also to be that connection for them to find that goal, that driving factor to get them to where they want to be. My major is entrepreneurial studies. Originally, I love art. I love building things. I'm into engineering and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I originally wanted to be an engineer,
Gotcha.
but when I found that there were people out there giving themselves their own job of finding what exactly they want to encourage, that what exactly they want to do, that is like so inspiring to me, knowing that there are people out there being able to encourage people to the best of their ability. And that's what this whole project is about. Vention is a podcast and videos and many things in between to help people, inspire people, make people more creative. Because even in my own life, I've seen creativity dwindle throughout time, and even like passion, like through Christianity and different things. It's like without consistent encouragement or finding a way either for yourself or to help others, you'll just see a dwindling in your walk in no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so it's and like even like in the darkest of times, that's when you have to adhere to what you know the best and what you know the most, because then in the highest times you know for a fact, but in the lowest times, who knows? And you could just waste your time and do other things, and you don't really have anything concrete as what you know and what you are inspired to do.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Does it scare you that
Yes.
Why?
Actually, it was funny because I looked at the camera and I said, somebody that just walked by and said, "Oh, I'm not passionate about anything," to their friend, and just like walked off. And I don't know, that it kind of bothers me not knowing that you could live life almost non-existent to yourself. Living on the backside of the country and doing what you believe is right for your own happiness, for your own walk, for whatever you're doing, living in isolation as long as you believe that's for you, I am perfectly fine with that. Because socially, you could be completely cut off, but with yourself, you know what you know, and you know how to live, how to do things, and how to be happy sufficiently. But when you're outgoing and social and different things, and have lost yourself, don't know what drives you, what wakes you up in the morning, what pushes you. If you don't have any sense of likes, desires, passions, then it's almost a cookie cutter world. And I guess what would make me fear it the most is the fact that it's cookie cutter. A world that's grayscale and not having black or white individuals is like a dystopian world,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Then how do you think we find passion with true color?
It's finding what drives you and then joining like-minded communities, to completely understand. I mean, that could be taken way out of context.
Yeah.
That could be taken way out of
Yeah,
context.
for sure.
But it's best to be always on the search, to know for a fact that whoever you are in the very moment is not to your full potential. Knowing that there's always way for improvement, knowing that there's always something or someone that can be your standard, is a way that can keep people open-minded to the fact that we're always growing and we should always be doing things to learn, to understand, because the world is unfolding, and if you're staying still, you're moving backwards.
Agreed. It's the craziest thing to me, man. I think that even setting a standard, or declaring the person that you want to be, will sometimes even set you back farther than you could have imagined.
Yeah,
Like you were saying,
definitely.
the idea that we need to live to be someone else is so misconstrued and conceived.
Yeah.
That if you truly just pursue what you're passionate about and better yourself every day, and I think the thing that I've been noticing is, man, you're always going to be able to get that cup of coffee. You're always going to be able to continue to love the people around you well, and I think that looks like loving people with intentionality, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the human mind is the most bendable and
Absolutely.
stretchable thing that we've ever been given.
Yeah.
And dedicating an hour to your day to learn Mandarin or to absolutely unlock a creative potential in your mind to further you is better sometimes than going and getting some ice cream or going on Instagram for 3 hours.
Absolutely.
Because I think some of the most successful people are the ones that are able to say no, but truly are the ones that are content with themselves and know their full identity. And I think that you'll see that that can only be reached in through the Lord and through Christ. And I think that translates to success as well. There's no way that you can actually unlock your full potential without knowing completely who you are. And I think that's where people are missing it. I think that's where true, absolute, just, man, change comes from. a life of color comes from. Is that because once you know who you are, you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
So that's my thought process, man.
Yep.
You got any other questions for me?
That's the one for today.
Man,
Thank you so much for
it's been cool.
stopping by.
Cool little shindig you got going on here.
Yeah.
It's very,
Having fun with it.
sick, yeah.
You're the second person ever.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's surprising. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I've only been here for like an hour,
Okay.
but I mean,
An hour? What?
I know
That's a long time.
it is a long time.
Dude, I feel like you should have gotten I don't know. I feel like a lot
Yeah.
more people would come up and
There's
ask.
there's a
what's up.
couple nitpicky things that I can improve upon for next time. But until then, today was like the day to actually step it up and do it
Yeah.
and not put it off another week.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And like I basically was just like, I'm so nervous, I don't want to do this. But then I was just like, let me just sit down and actually
Just do it.
just do it.
What's the goal?
The goal, inspire people. And that's such huge potential of, if you want to consider it in business terms, even a market. Me being entrepreneurial studies, so many people are passionate about what they want to do and what they are currently doing, that the world either doesn't know, doesn't recognize them, or they don't recognize parts of the world that they could be seeing. So basically, this whole project, Vention, is trying to expose to people parts of what they may find as a passion. Like what you said, Mandarin. Things like that. Like, I want to help. Do you speak it?
No, not yet. But that's kind of what I've been talking about, is this realization that, man, you can seriously wake up your mind if you're willing to build up. I think you have to build up a strength to even stretch it. Right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
That comes through those small disciplines in your life.
Yeah.
Waking up at 5:30 or
Yeah.
whatever that is.
I played sports for like my whole life,
Oh, yeah.
and that's like a major discipline, but it was also kind of like a routine. And so after that, into college, I kind of lacked that discipline again, and I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that was my own.
JJ, baby, come on.
Yeah. And so that was my own conviction. Like, I wanted to do that, and nobody was telling me to do it. I could show up whenever I want. I was paying for it. Everything was completely and solely relying on me to do it.
Yeah.
And so the progress that you make, the time and hours and things that you learn is so encouraging to me, because there are times that you don't want to go. There are times that you don't want to do it, but it's the fact of the discipline. I was yearning for a discipline, and that was just something that I got into. So like what you mentioned about like the Mandarin thing, of just setting aside an hour.
Yeah.
It's things that people don't even recognize are options.
Yeah.
Like there are courses, there's billions of hours of courses online of things that are completely and utterly free that could make any one person love it for the rest of their life.
And the craziest thing to me is, man, that I kind of had this experience today where I was sitting in class, and I was working on a few business ideas, and obviously still intentionally listening, but was on my computer just looking at a few things for my future.
Yeah.
Right? Well, what I could be doing to improve myself, if that was learning Google AdWord or still researching different courses I could take online. And I start kind of looking around the room while I'm listening to this marketing professor kind of say a couple words. And man, it truly like saddened me in the education system that we're in. Is the girl in front of me is looking at clothing. She's looking at a new pair of pants she wants to buy. The kid next to me is on his phone on Snapchat, and the rest of the room is half asleep.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at all of this in the grand scheme of things, it's a little scary because it snaps you out of the fact that, man, me looking at that pair of pants on Instagram, whatever that is, what if that girl in front of me, instead of looking at pants, was researching her next internship, her next language, her next connection, her next passion, right?
Yeah.
Like we're talking about. What if she was kind of taking that step to get on the diving board, to truly hop in those freezing cold waters to then get comfortable?
Yeah.
Because I think if we all just did that and realized that everything is so short and those things mean absolutely nothing, then I think, and I know really, that success is just absolutely inevitable.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. And that's what I think is so interesting that I've realized more over the years about Christianity and about people's walk with the Lord and stuff like that, is like just being religious in any kind of connotation opens your mind that there's a bigger picture. And the moment that you recognize, whether you're atheist, Christian, anything, Muslim, whatever you are, like the fact that there's a bigger picture is like the very first starting step to recognizing who you are.
Oh, yeah.
Because without that, you will have the people, like you said, 3 hours on Instagram, looking at pants for shopping. Whatever it is. And especially when you take that into a college setting, unless you put any ounce of effort into it, you're not getting anything out of it.
Oh, no. Yeah, no chance.
No chance.
No chance.
And so it's like, it's best to recognize this as soon as possible. Because they say, it's so cliche, but when's the best time to plant a tree? And everybody says today, but you're supposed to say 10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah.
And it's like, and it's that exact same thing. Like taking it into my experience of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, everybody says, I wish I started when I was 20. And I started at 19, and I consider myself fortunate, recognizing the fact of something that I enjoyed. So the whole thing with Vention and stuff like that, I am basically finding as many things as possible and trying to show others what those could potentially be.
Yeah, I think that's a good word, too. I think if I could just leave this little talk we're having with one last thing is something I've truly realized in the past couple months, because these have been the most challenging and formative, I think, in my life so far, just because of the hardship, has been that being humbled is truly a good thing, even though how hard it is. It's truly beautiful, and from that, I think that you start to learn very quickly that the last person to speak in the room and the first person to listen is usually the wisest there. And I don't think we'll ever get there to be the wisest of the wise, but I think having that head knowledge of speaking last and truly listening first will yield you so much growth and knowledge in your life that you're going to be able to kind of go forth from that to then be successful in the things that you want.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, this has been super
Thank
cool.
you
This is
so
awesome,
much,
man.
George.
Yeah, this is great.
Really appreciated you coming out.
Yeah, where can I find this?
Vention, you can find it on Instagram at Ventionable, and Spotify, podcasts, Apple Podcast, anything podcast related,
Anything
you can find it under Vention.
Cool.
Vention. Invention without the IN.
Invention. Sweet, man.
Unconventional.
Unconventional.
Unconventional is where it originally came from. And then come to find out, in Urban Dictionary, Vention actually means making up a word but pretending it's real. Something like that. I was like,
Okay.
isn't that perfect?
It's got to be perfect.
It's got to be perfect.
It's got to be perfect. Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.
yeah.
Really appreciate it.
George Wingia. You can find me on LinkedIn or Instagram. Business marketing, and Instagram's at George Mungi. So
Entrepreneurship. So
come on, baby. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
To it. Word. Dude, so nice
Thank
to meet
you.
you, brother. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice to meet you.
Let me get your contact info real quick.
Cool.
I'll just grab your Instagram and then we can.
Oh yeah, cool.
So you're gonna kind of edit this whole thing, chop it up, and
Yeah, this was my first time. I have quite a few episodes and things. That's my Vention one, and then I'll add you on my personal.
beautiful, man. I would love that. And if you ever need a word on one of these podcasts, I got a lot of people that I think are very, very wise and I think would be willing to say a couple things. So
Awesome.
I'm always here too, brother. So
Totally.
let me know.
Will do.
Sweet, sounds good, dude. Nice to meet you, brother. Sorry, guys. I took a little bit of time. That's my bad. That's my bad.
It's a podcast about people's passions.
It's dope. You guys should do it. It's really cool.
Can I do it?
Absolutely.
Sure. Wait, can we both do it?
We can do two people.
For sure, yeah.
Let's go for it. It'll be my first time in public with two people.
Sick.
Good luck, boys.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a ride. I'm gonna let
It's
you
a
know.
ride.
It's a ride.
All right.
You guys all know each other?
No.
Oh. You guys showed up and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh
so-
man, sorry."
He's just a nice
Jonah.
guy. My name's Andrew.
George, nice to meet you.
Jonah.
Nice to meet you, Jonah. Put you guys around, yeah.
All
Have
right.
a good time. It's fun.
All right, for sure, yeah. Totally.
Boys.
See ya.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Closer to the mic, the better.
All right.
Just don't put your mouth on. No, I'm just kidding. Christian.
Jonah. I have a brother named Christian.
Nice. Jonah.
Andrew.
Andrew. Jonah and Andrew. How do you guys know each other?
We went to high school together.
Yeah.
Nice. From where?
California.
California.
Mhm.
North, south?
Central. Like
Oof.
right in the middle, basically.
Yeah.
Nice,
Not the
nice.
fun part, you know.
So why'd you guys come to GCU?
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
So why did I come to GCU? I really, I wanted. So our school, the one that we both go to, has a discovery trip. You know.
Yeah.
And so we went to a private Christian school,
Mhm.
and so they're kind of like partner schools almost. They flew us out here and everything, and I really like the campus a lot. I like the design of it, very modern and stuff like that. I also really like how it's Christian university, and I think kind of what like settled it for me is when I went with my parents, and I was asking about my major, which was graphic design. I'm a graphic design major with
Super
with
cool.
animation. Yeah. And they were showing me all this stuff, like portfolios of other people, and I'm like, this is so cool. And so one of the questions that I had was like, so how come you guys like just don't have animation? Because they don't have like just straight animation major. They have graphic design with emphasis in animation.
Mhm.
And so basically I asked them that, and they were like, so like we kind of hear just you like focus on like, they didn't want to be mean, but they were like, we've kind of focused on like wink real majors kind of. And so if you're an animator, they told me straight up, they're like, look, like animators like that work for like basically what you're gonna do with if you have an animation, if you're majoring in animation, is that like you're either gonna work for Disney or Pixar or whatever, or you're not. And so it's basically very hard to make money in that field with just animation. But so with graphic design and stuff like that, you know, they teach you how to draw, they teach you how to do a bunch of other stuff. And on top of that, you can animate too.
Yeah.
Like obviously you're not like a pro, so you're not like a one-trick pony, like just like, you know, regular animators.
Yeah.
You kind of, you know, jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, I can tell like they really put an emphasis on their curriculum and their majors and stuff. So I was like, that's very interesting because I've never heard of like schools who've done that, like where they're like we don't have these because like you just won't. It's very hard to go into that field and that kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
So that's kind of why I came. Also, so it's cheap, private, Christian, affordable, and yeah, it was just the people, the community here is super fun.
Yeah,
it seemed like it, and that's why I'm here.
How far is the drive?
8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
Nah.
Kind of 9 in the. I usually we can do it in like 9.
8 hours is like a good time. 10 hours is bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8 hours is like impressive. Like driving fast, no traffic. That's it. That's how you get 8 hours.
Nice. Andrew, right?
Yeah.
What brought you to GCU?
Well, me and Jonah both came from a private Christian school with there was like 200 kids in our high school, and we had 60 people in our class, and 13 of them are here freshmen in GCU.
Nice.
So just we do get the little discount or whatever from CCSC and stuff like that. So the price along with I know 13 people already here starting, and that was just kind of fun. And now I'm rooming with some of my friends that I already knew, and just kind of the community that we're building together that I already have, kind of like a mix of those.
Totally.
So that's kind of why.
Andrew, we'll start with you. What's your passion? What are you passionate about?
Like on what scale?
What do you like? What is like a major interest of yours? I know there's probably many.
Well, my major in college is business management, but I have no idea where I want to go with that. No idea what I want to do. Kind of a last minute, that's kind of broad. So I don't really have any passions as far as my life is concerned.
Yeah.
But I am a Christian, and I'd say a passion of mine. While it's hard for me, but just learning more about God and trying my best is kind of something that I always come back to.
Yeah.
You could say it's a passion, but it's also just kind of conviction, I guess.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so you're not entirely sure what you want to do?
No, not at all. I
cool.
picked it. I'll probably change my major 1,000 times. So.
George, the guy that just passed, the guy that was just on here.
Yeah.
He's managing. What were you?
Business management.
Yeah, he was business management in marketing.
Yeah.
I think.
So business management is kind of the broad, and then I could focus it into marketing. I could do accounting, kind of filter it.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten there yet. So
if you needed his contact info, he was just looking at all the job opportunities and things that he wanted to get into. So if you ever needed that, that'd be super cool. Would you say you're passionate about animation?
I don't think I would say I'm passionate about drawing and animating. What I guess I'll start with by saying when I was choosing my major, it was a lot of what I don't want to do, and immediately what comes to mind, because no one wants to sit at a desk for the rest of their life,
Yeah.
and do stuff like that. And what I really wanted to do was do something that almost was like a hobby.
Yeah.
And that's what I was kind of looking for, is something that I just didn't want to feel like I was going to work for the rest of my life,
Yeah, totally.
And so that's why I chose kind of graphic design and animation, because graphic design is a very needed field. There's a lot of things you can do with it, and animation just kind of added to that. I feel like animating, if you know how to do it, is a lot of fun, as opposed to that's why I'm not a graphic design major with marketing and that kind of stuff, advertising. And so that's why I chose that major. What I would say I'm passionate about, I think there's probably two things. And I'd say the first one is kind of more like a hobby and stuff like that. And then the second one kind of more I guess, emotional-wise and stuff like that. Hobby-wise, I love music a lot. And I didn't really start kind of getting into it until probably a couple months ago. Me and him, Andrew, we're both in choir for our whole high school, and I loved it. He loved it too, and we both. I really liked it because seventh and eighth grade is when I kind of first like was in choir, but it's not real choir. You're just you're messing around and stuff like that. And so the reason I was in it is because there was this cute girl that was in it, and so I'm like, let's go in choir. But
Is she one of the 13?
one of the 13.
One of the
From our
the group that's coming here?
She went to our school. She's not here now.
Dang it.
Katie Deaver.
Dang.
Yeah.
Name dropping like that.
Yeah. Name dropper. We're good. We're friends now.
Where's this airing?
Just don't think about it.
She's a good friend. She's a good friend. And then that kind of sparked my kind of passion for music in general. But I was never like, I didn't go into like super deep music theory, and I only started learning guitar like a couple months ago. And it's something I've always wanted to do.
Hey.
But I've never pulled the trigger until I just needed something to distract myself. And I'm like, I've always wanted to do this, so I'm gonna go buy one and just keep cracking at it. So that's what I've been doing. And I think that's what I'm really passionate about. I'm really passionate about music. And if I could, like, my dream job would be to be in a band and play for a bunch of people,
Super cool.
That would be my dream job. But, like, no barriers, no risks, and that kind of stuff. That's what I would do.
Yeah. I have a group of friends that, one of my first core group of friends, I did the 48-hour film challenge with a pretty decent sized group for my freshman maybe sophomore year. I forget. But it was a 48-hour film challenge. You make a film in 48 hours. One of my friends that was in it, and he's been on a few times on the podcast, Zachary Good. He scored the 48-hour film music within that time. After all filming. Basically, he had I think a 3-hour window, and he scored like a 6-minute film, which was super cool. And so he has so he's in music, and he's in videography, and so his quote unquote goal or dream job would be scoring for movies. And you are slightly on more the animating side, but the connection to music is just super cool. So if you needed his contact information, I would totally have that.
Yeah, maybe totally. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm not good,
Yeah,
you gotta start somewhere.
You definitely.
But yeah, I have a couple friends who are very musically inclined, and definitely when I get back to California, I want to talk to some of them about kind of stuff, tell me stuff. And then so I guess to the second part of what I was saying about what I'm I guess emotionally passionate about is I like helping people.
Oh yeah,
a lot. And just because I know, at least for me, definitely when I'm, whether it's down or depressed or whatever, I like to have someone just to talk to.
Yeah.
I don't want them to, tell me what to do or whatever. I just kind of someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely what I try to be a lot of the time. Is just someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And I think that's also what I'm passionate about. I've always thought about maybe, switching my major to something that have to do with counseling or being that kind of stuff. My mom is a counselor, or is going to be one. She's graduating school right now. So, but yeah, that's I probably say the second thing I'm probably passionate about is I like helping people a lot.
That's super cool. I mean, hey, one people could argue that the biggest counselor is music.
Yeah, I'm very so the music and the graphic design I feel kind of are kind of almost one and the same, sort of, in the sense that it's, I think not trying to be bragging or whatever, but I think I have a kind of creative mind, and that's always been dang, I wish I could draw, because I would totally draw that down, or
yeah
and it's they're both part of the same thing. What's it called? College of Fine Arts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say those are two things I'm passionate about that. What about you? What are you passionate about?
Lots of things.
I would hope this podcast.
Yes. No, it's boring. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm passionate about helping others, being specifically an encouragement for others to not only, because you can only go so far when it comes to counseling and things like that. You can only go that extra step, but then it comes to them to really focus in what they really want to do, what they want to actually put their energy towards. And so I'm trying to be that kind of encouragement to kind of push people in the right direction. And hey, I love art. I'm totally into like drawing and different things like that. If you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm here. I'm a commuter,
sure.
but I mean,
For sure.
I'm just a little
what year
skip
are you?
away. I'm a junior.
Okay.
Also, what is the story of this podcast?
Story.
Like, we're just
what happened?
skateboarding by, and all of a sudden there's a podcast. Like, what is this for?
For people.
Oh, okay. Is it
Vention.
your personal podcast?
Personal podcast.
And you're just a student here?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. It's called Vention, where people find passions and passions find people.
Oh, that's cool.
So trying to expose people to what other people are passionate about in hopes that it encourages them to do more, to be more, and to set themselves at a higher standard.
And this is a product of your passion then?
Yeah.
That's
cool.
cool. How long have you been doing it for?
A couple months.
Okay.
I just came out with my 12th podcast episode.
Okay.
And then this is my first time with strangers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
and so
pretty
I'm
cool.
figuring this out, seeing if it works.
Yeah,
I think it
it's
works.
Great. Especially like for just people walking by, you'll probably find. I mean, obviously, you'll find some just okay people, but you also find some interesting.
Yeah,
stuff you
definitely.
wouldn't normally find.
Totally.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's the real key, is things that you wouldn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you guys got on your mind?
I feel like Jonah had more stuff to talk about than I did.
The floor is open for Andrew.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I have anything. I'm just saying his answers were a little bit more thought out.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's something that you always thought was really cool and that you would totally do, but you had no idea how to do it or if you even wanted to do it?
Well, a career path that I almost picked was teaching history, because I love history. I think history is extremely interesting.
Yeah.
But I come from a family where 4 of my direct family is teachers. And so I kind of don't want to, I don't
Yeah.
even want to mess with it just because I don't want to be another teacher in my family or
Yeah.
anything. And also, I don't know, it's just kind of scary getting into that field for me. So I love history, and that's something I thought was really cool. I don't know a lot about it, but I've always wished that I just took the time to read.
Yeah.
That's another thing too, reading. I've always wished I appreciate literature, and I love talking about literature, but I can't force myself to sit down and read an entire book.
Would you ever write a book?
No, I would never write a book.
Would never write a book.
Probably not, unless I had like a super interesting life. If I were like a Holocaust survivor or like something like that, if I had something really cool that I felt like I needed to tell people, then I would
You're
write
just
a
a
book.
little young for that.
Yeah.
No.
Just a tiny bit.
just a little bit.
Couple
Yeah.
60 years,
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say just reading and being able to gain knowledge more, that's something that I
What's your
want.
favorite book? First question. Do you have a favorite book?
I don't have a favorite book,
Mm-hmm.
but one book that always kind of stuck with me, because I remember people would read it, like my grandma would read it to me like as a kid or something like that. It'd be on our shelf here and there, but I actually just picked it up again. It's The Secret Garden.
Mm-hmm.
It's a children's book. I mean, it's not like that it's easy to read. There's big words and stuff like that. But I don't know why. That book I always kind of come back to. It's fun to read.
Yeah.
So there's no like emotional significance or anything.
Yeah.
I liked it.
The enjoyment of reading.
Yeah, but one of my bucket list things is kind of just read all sort of like the American classics.
Hey.
Like, I don't know, I've read Of Mice and Men, I've read, I guess it's not American, but I've read like The Odyssey, but those are all like for school and everything. I kind of just want to get a big stack of books and of popular books and just read them,
Yeah. Totally.
but I'm
Super
just
cool.
not good at it.
I found this thing on Instagram, and it keeps like popping up in the shop. But it's like a big poster, and it's like gold foiled book covers,
Oh.
and it shows all the titles of the books. And then after you've read that book, you scratch it out, and then it shows the actual illustrated cover underneath. And so it's like a big board, and it like shows you all the different books. I'm sure if there was like an American culture one, like an American-ish one, or like classics,
Yeah.
I'm sure, because I believe Secret Garden was on one of them. But that's something like super cool, and I thought,
Yeah.
that'd be kinda cool.
I'll look into that.
if anything, you literally just look it up on the shop, and then you look at the list, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'll do that one.
Yeah. I'd say for me the hardest part is just like, all right, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna read a chapter,
Yeah,
and then the next day doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then the next day doing the same thing.
yeah,
Just kind of, especially with like school and everything. Like I have to
Absolutely.
read so much anyway. Like,
Yeah.
do I really? Is reading actually fun? You
Mhm.
know. So it's kind of a balance of, I get not priorities because school is a priority, but
yeah.
what I want to do in my free time, I guess. Do I
Yeah,
want to
totally.
relax? Is reading relaxing? I don't know.
Mhm.
So
Well, thank you guys so much for being here.
thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you. This was pretty cool.
This was really interesting.
Thank you guys for being bold enough to step up to the mic.
Yeah.
For
I wouldn't
sure.
have done it if Jonah wasn't here.
Oh, I've always wanted to be on a podcast.
Thanks.
Well,
Jonah.
well, thank you guys again for being here. I would totally be down to do an individual podcast sometime if there was ever a topic or anything, even if it was just strictly books or strictly just animating or counseling or different things
Anything.
or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of interested to hear about you. Do you have anything? Like
Lots
cool.
of things.
You have a lot. Same.
Just listen to the podcasts, and like it's just about a bunch about people's passions and stuff like that. And I have like something in each of them
Got it. Okay.
that like I'm like totally into,
Okay.
something like that.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, that's the goal.
Where do we find your podcast?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Is that it on your shirt?
everywhere. No, this is a little previous project.
It was on your hat too. So I was
yeah.
like, maybe he's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I even got stickers if you guys want one.
Oh heck yeah! Thanks, dude.
So
Thanks.
what is this?
It was an old project. Just had fun with it.
This is our boy Andrew right here.
That's my roommate.
Yeah, what's
Andrew
he
number
gonna
2.
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple
What's it
Podcast,
called?
Yeah, what's
everything.
it called?
Vention.
Benson. Okay.
Vention.
How do you spell it?
Vention.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Unconventional.
Oh.
Vention.
All right. Well, thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you
for
guys
having
It was
us.
a lot
for
of
being
fun.
here.
All right. See you, Christian.
Super cool. See you guys later.